to the Dog Expert Podcast, the podcast dogs would want you to listen to. Powered by canineprinciples.com, helping passionate dog people go from feeling unsure and overwhelmed to confident, compassionate and science savvy through a rich library of online courses and formal qualifications. Each week on the podcast, we dive deep into the real, raw and rewarding world of dogs. This isn't about obedience. This is about understanding. Because dogs aren't problems to solve. They're free-thinking, sentient beings to connect with.
Hello and welcome to episode 3, season 4 of the Dog Expert Podcast. We are super excited this morning to be joined by a wonderful lady. She's based over in Australia. Her formal training comes from Canine Principles, and she has studied and absorbed dogs all of her life. In fact, I did find a cute picture of her age 4 over on her website with her first black Labrador, and it's super cute, so you need to go and check it out. The wonderful lady that I'm talking about is none other than Jo Burton. Jo Burton is joining me now. Hello, Jo.
Hello, Jo. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, you did some training with Canine Principles quite some time ago now, I think.
I did, yeah.
And then
That's where I started, Jo. Yeah, that's pretty much where I started, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. And then, but you have done lots and lots of, you've been a busy bee since then, haven't you?
I have.
Do you want to tell everyone listening what you've been up to and what brings us on this journey to being on the podcast today and what we're talking about?
Sure. So the reason, as you said, Jo, always loved dogs. Had that black Labrador when I was 4, and I have a black Labrador now. Just depending on how long I live, I probably have another black Labrador after this one. No, do love myself a Labrador. I love all dogs, but Labradors are very special to me. So I actually was raising a Labrador puppy for guide dogs here in Australia, and she stayed with me close to a year, and she didn't do very well. She was very, very hard work. So it occurred to me that I needed to know more about dogs, what was going on there for dogs. So I found Canine Principles, and I've done so many courses with Canine Principles. I've actually lost count. I think my proudest moment was getting my diploma in canine communication, because I think everyone needs to have canine communication, have a knowledge of that. That's where we start anyway. So yeah, loved Canine Principles. Just I'd submit everything and I'd sit there so excited waiting for my assessment to come back. It was just so exciting. So yeah, loved it. And then I think that led me down the rabbit hole of just looking into more, force-free, positive reinforcement way of training. And I found people like Janet Finlay and Michelle Dart from Heart Dog. I love them so much. Just was over in Kent earlier in 2025 and got to hang out with them again, which was always a pleasure. Got to drive around in Molly, their van, which was really cool. So yes, did heaps with them. And I think it was on their, I want to say like symposium, like their seminar, that I heard about Sarah Fisher and ACE.
Okay.
During COVID, that Sarah actually put out those free resources for people, so kindly as Sarah was, so kindly put out all the free resources, which I just dived into that and started learning more about her, and I was hooked, absolutely hooked. I was like, why haven't we been doing this? Why doesn't everybody do this? Why haven't we been doing this? And I was shocked to find out that she'd actually been doing it for nearly 20 years. Australia doesn't know about her or didn't know about her. I'm sure a lot more do now.
Good.
But yeah, so I was absolutely hooked, and I started with the dog detective course with Sarah,
Brilliant.
and then went on to module 1. And then in 2023, I'm a member of the Association of Pet Dog Trainers in Australia, and I saw their conference was on in New South Wales, I think, and Sarah was going to be a guest speaker. So I didn't even think about it. I just booked a flight and booked my ticket, booked my accommodation. I was there, and I was like a big fangirl. I remember saying to another girl that I was there with, "That's Sarah Fisher." And I was too frightened. I was too nervous to go and say hi, because here I was, this little Australian girl, lady. And the next morning she came up to me and said, "You're Jo." And I got one of those wonderful Sarah Fisher hugs that you never, ever forget. And got to spend so much time with her. And she did the most amazing talks, and literally the rooms were full every time out the door, and people lined up for miles afterwards to speak to her. And I think I got the biggest shock, but such a proud moment when she said to everyone that they could come and speak to Jo Burton because I could help them out as well. So, whoa, that was such a privilege. That was such an honor for her to say that. So, we spoke about it, and she didn't have any students except for me in Australia.
Wow.
And we're a big place. We're a big country. So she enlisted me to fly the ACE flag here in Australia, which I proudly have been doing. So, since then I've became a certified ACE Freework practitioner, the first and only still in Australia, and an associate tutor. So I finished all the modules that are out yet. There will be more. There's just obviously a bit of a hold up. Things have, changed a little bit. They're trying to get everything organised. They've been wonderful though. They've kept going with all the modules and their teaching. It's Sarah Whiffen stepped in, and she's doing an amazing job. She's such a lovely lady. And so I'm now able to, and Sarah was very happy for me to have my own ACE Freework toolkits for trainers here in Australia, because I figured, what's the best way to get free work to the most dogs and the people who love them? And that's through the trainers. So I do that now. So they just come on and do the course with me, and I do like a 6-month mentorship with them. So I see their cases through with them. And I was telling Sarah shortly before she passed that I had spoken to a behaviourist in Sydney, which is another state from where I am, and he is hosting me to do workshops at the end of next month. So we're doing a weekend workshop with ACE Freework down there, and Sarah was just so excited. I got one of those big woohoos, and that she's famous for, and she was just really excited. And ACE is really taking off now. It's not down to me. I mean, people who saw Sarah in Australia, have slowly started trickling into the courses. So I'm very happy to see that, and more and more people are hearing about it here in Australia, which is great.
Absolutely. So for anyone listening who isn't familiar with the story of how ACE came about, I think we were talking before we came on that I've worked in Greyhound and Sighthound Rescue. I was a trustee of formerly Greyhound Rescue West of England, and then changed to Forever Hounds Trust many years ago. And actually, when they rebranded, the kind of big birthday celebrations were at Tilly Farm, where Sarah Fisher.
Amazing.
So our kennels were not far from Tilly Farm. I don't live that far away from there. So we used to take our kennel dogs down to Tilly Farm for the T-Touch practitioners that were just qualifying to have as case studies, but also to give our kennel dogs some respite. That was kind of maybe 2013, 2014. And I remember the first time I went, I was a bit apprehensive. I'd never heard of T-Touch before. I wasn't quite sure what it was. And like you, I was completely hooked as soon as you heard Sarah's passion, and the way that she explained things was just so relatable that it just, like, you're completely hooked. So I went on and did some T-Touch practitioner courses there, and then the only, I think, 2 6-day ones, and some other bits and bobs. And then Sarah went on to form ACE. When was that? 2020, maybe 2019?
Oh gosh, I couldn't say exactly. I'm not 100% sure. It was definitely before 2020. Definitely before.
And then I didn't explore ACE at all. I sort of stepped out of the dog world for a little minute and then stepped back in again. And I went back to Tilly Farm last October and did a Freework course with Matt Donovan.
Oh, I love Matt. He's
goodness.
amazing.
Oh, isn't he an absolute superstar? Really is. And his wife as well. They're just the dream team.
They're amazing people.
Really cool. But I was just like, wow, this is just like 2 full days of just observing dogs. It was just
it's heaven, isn't it?
Yeah, really is. But to explain to someone what listening or watching who's never heard of ACE before, how would you explain to them what it is? Because it's like a magic experience.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's really tough because it does. You're right. It's got such big feelings about it. And I don't think words can really do justice to the big feelings. I mean, I've been fortunate to go to Tilly Farm. I went in 2000 and actually, I think it might have been, I can't remember now, but I went maybe 2024. I went over and as part of module 3 to become a certified practitioner for Freework. So because usually I do online practical, but I just thought, I'm doing this. So I went over and did like 4 days of workshops, and it was just heaven. It really was, getting to spend that time with Sarah and all the amazing people she surrounds herself with. Everybody else who's a student of ACE is just such lovely, warm, friendly people. But yes, getting to watch the dogs for 4 days straight. So that was just amazing. And Tilly Farm, the magic of Tilly Farm, it just oozes, right? You just feel it as soon as you walk through the gate.
Therapy going there, I think. And that when you open the gate, there's the muck heap, the horse muck heap right there. And for me, when I open the gate, I always go sniffing this lovely aroma.
And then the donkey spraying in the background there. It's like, oh my gosh, I love this. And we got to do watch some of the free work out in the field. We saw some of that. It was just wonderful. It really, really was, and probably one of the best experiences of my life. So going back to what your original question was, so if you don't know what free work is, what you're going to see, let's look at what it looks like. So what you're going to come and see is a bunch of snuffle mats, licky mats, things like that. And most people go, and I have been told, it's just enrichment. It's like, we use enrichment equipment for sure. We use snuffle mats and licky mats and things like that. But it's tailored to the specific dog that you're working with, for that individual dog. We're not actually working with them. We're allowing them to teach us. But so depending on the height of the dog, we'll add height, or they'll be, for smaller dogs, we'll have things close to the ground. And we set that up so that, first of all, we can see what the dog is telling us. So we're giving them choices. So, for example, you put 2 water bowls in. You put one on the ground and one raised. Which one does the dog choose, and why does the dog choose it? So it's about allowing the dog to be the pilot of their own journey. And this is stealing from Sarah, and we're like the ground staff, just pretty much keeping them safe. But we actually become the student. As Sarah would say, the dog is the only expert on dogs. And we're here to learn. And you learn so much when you watch a dog doing free work. Little things like, what's their respiration rate like? What's the footfall like? Which way? Do they only go one way around the setup? Does that tell you something about something maybe going on in the dog's body, that they can only go one way? Do they prefer to snuffle? Do they prefer to lick? Do they avoid? Do they need to have a chew to be able to do the free work? So we put food in the stations, and it's not about a smorgasbord. It's about, because eating and the act of chewing is very important for dogs as well. That's a very big de-stressor, along with the licking and the chewing of the bones, or not bones, we put, hard chews for them in there as well. All really important as decompressors for the dogs. And free work is only limited by your imagination. Like, I love setting up new free work stations and, trying to find out what's the best for this dog that's in front of you. It works on the dog's nervous system, because you're allowing the dog to be a dog. And for some dogs, it's the only time they get a chance to have some agency over their own body. Get to do dog. They just dog. They get in there and they dog. And it makes them feel comfortable. And by tweaking the stations, if the dog does have any issues, musculoskeletal perhaps issues, we can help them. Or if we make observations, and that's a huge part of what we do as practitioners, watching. So personally, I only ever do free work. I don't go over there and tell you I'm going to train obedience or anything like that. Someone rings me and says my dog's reactive, for example. So I'll go there, I'll set up free work for the dog, video it, take it home, put it on my YouTube channel, whack it up on the TV, put it in slow-mo so I don't miss. And it's quite amazing what you will see when you do it that way, as opposed to the dog you just saw, half an hour before at its house. Like, when you put it into slow-mo, what you can see. If we see something that we think might be, obviously we're not vets, we're not diagnosticians, but we do learn to hone our eye and see. If I see anything that's a little bit concerning, then probably a referral to a vet, physio, chiropractor, something like that. And thing is that pain and behaviour, as we all know, are intrinsically linked. So if you've got a dog that's in pain, you might see something like reactivity. And I think the figure now stands at about 82 to 85% of dogs with reactivity will have some level of pain or discomfort. So it's very good like that. So we let the dog teach us by having a sensory exploration. And then we look for any problems and we refer on. It's also just a really lovely experience for any dog, because it helps to calm, it helps to reset, it gets them rest. Dogs normally have a nice little sleep after they've done free work. It uses parts of their body they probably wouldn't normally use on a normal day. And it's great for calming. So if your dog's had an experience that's a bit stressful, free work, I would be doing that for the dog to help them just to calm down, to reset from any stresses. I personally do it every day with my dog, and she just loves it. And sometimes twice a day. If we've been out and something stressed her, we're back home, she almost tells me. She goes to the room where we do the free work. It's like, I've been a bit stressed here. I think I need some free work. It's wonderful for that. It's great for the guardians of the dogs too. Yesterday, I was kind of all in my head about moving house and the stress that comes with that, and not wanting to, I don't like change and stuff. And she went in almost talking to me by, in her free work, doing things very differently to how she normally does. And it occurred to me that change can happen and it's not bad. Change can happen for a reason. So there's and I just think it's very, very calming to watch your dog. I do it all the time and I love it. I spend my life looking at dogs, either on video or in person. I just love it, really love it. So that is, so much more. It's so layered. What we do with free work is so layered. And there's so many applications as well. People probably wondering, well, what do you do it for? besides if your dog resting, calming and everything. So a dog who's stressed, in pain, anything like that, doesn't have the ability to learn anyway. The brain's not in that place to learn. So learning can happen after they've done free work. Obviously, we need to address any pain if it's there, but the applications are just endless. Separation anxiety. I'm now working on not the like leave the dog for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, see how you go. I'm now working on using the ready game, which is a lovely game we do within free work, to allow the dog a start button to let us know that they're ready for us to leave. So the dog's cooperating with the whole separation anxiety thing, and you're getting a lovely calm dog who's participated in you leaving. There's just anxiety in general. It's great for dogs who are anxious. Sometimes you'll see a dog change completely in one session, but sometimes it takes a bit longer. And for puppies, that would be the first thing I do, bringing a puppy home as free work. Sarah, I know she brought lots of dogs home from Battersea to her place, to Tilly Farm, but she does tell the story of one litter of puppies where she brought home a couple from that litter from Battersea, and the rest stayed at Battersea. And it was kind of when she was developing free work. So these puppies got a lot of, Sarah's wisdom and love and care, and a bit of like the free work sort of stuff. And when they went back and they met up with the rest of the litter for their vaccinations at the vet, it was quite obvious these dogs were bigger, they were calmer, they were more robust, they were healthier puppies than the other ones. And really, you can only put that down to free work. So yeah, puppies, senior dogs, I love it for senior dogs. We see them getting a bit stumbly and a bit their proprioception tends to leave them a bit. I just recently worked with a 17-year-old border terrier who was blind and deaf, and she had the most lovely day. So what I did for her was put tracks. We call them tracks. So, I put a series of mats along like a railway track and little stations along there, and just watching her go from stumbling over everything to working it out and getting the confidence to do it was, well, of course I cried. I always do when I see that sort of thing. But yeah, she was lovely. So it's great for older dogs, reactive dogs, rescue dogs. I think you'll find a dog who does free work is in the rescue is probably going to be adopted a lot more quickly. And I think when you bring a rescue dog home, that's absolutely what you should be doing. Had a great case the other day of a family that were holidaying together, parents, adult children. The dogs had never met from the two families. They were really worried. One was an entire male, the other one wasn't. Both were reactive to other dogs. So I would usually take a long time and give the dogs the time to get used to each other, but I didn't have the time because they were meeting in another 2 days or something. So I did free work with each dog separately, then swapped them over to where each other had been, did it there, took them out into a large space so they didn't feel, they needed to argue with each other. And those dogs just started getting on. They were fine. They went into it with a calm state of mind, with a nervous system that could cope with meeting another dog. And I think the guardians were pretty much blown away by that. And they had a lovely holiday because these two dogs actually got on together. Wonderful for cooperative care, for husbandry. Like I said, I do free work with my dog every day. We do the ready game, which is telling the dog, are you ready for something to happen? So letting the dog cooperate in their own care and give permission to give consent to be touched. And she had colitis a few months ago. And when we got in there, I just always ask the vet staff, could you ask her if she's ready? And I've also taught her the parts of her body, so she knows what each part of her body is called. So they'll say, ready, paw. And bless her heart, the second day we went down because she had to be on a drip. When we came in, they said, ready, paw. And she went like this for them to put the cannula in. And they said, oh, my God, I wish every dog was that happy to be here and so cooperative. And yeah, that was such a blessing, and it just makes it so much easier for the guardian not to see the dog struggling with that sort of thing. Yeah, working in the car, dogs with car phobias, it's great for that. It's reactivity, aggressive dogs.
Yeah.
You can depending what's going on for them there, we can definitely use free work. It just tells us so much about the dog, and it allows the dog to tell us a story about them. And we just learn how to understand what they're telling us through free work.
There's so much to it, and like you say, on the face of it you might think, oh, it's some licky mats and some snuffle mats, but actually there are so many layers to it. I mean, there's the emotional regulation, and the nervous system regulation, but there's the co-regulation between the guardian and the dog as well, because inadvertently, even when people don't think they are putting pressure on the dog, as humans we do put pressure on our dogs, but by instead of doing that, having a notepad and pen and making notes about what they're doing, for example, while they're going around the free work session, excuse me, and you're taking the pressure off the dog and focusing on making your notes and data collection, data gathering. One of the things that I took so much from spending time at Tilly Farm over the years, and for those listening who aren't aware, sadly Sarah Fisher passed away the end of last year, which is a massive shock to everyone that knew and loved her. And I was by no means sort of someone that she'd probably call out of the blue or anything like that, but she had such a profound impact on so many lives. Even if you've just read one of her books or watched one of her videos or anything like that, you will have been affected, because she had such a way of, she just had such a way. She was just an incredible person. But Tilly Farm is carrying on under Sarah Whiffin, and if you get the opportunity to go to Tilly Farm, then would highly recommend signing up for a 2-day course, or whatever you can to get exposure, because as Jo and I have said, it is just such the most incredible experience. The feeling I can't put into words. I just do it. But a few things that spring to mind is Sarah saying it depends, and Matt reminded me of that when I was there last year, because you see a type of behavior, or unless you see it repeated, it could be for any reason. It could be because the dog can smell something that you can't smell, or hear something that you can't hear. It could be because they're in pain. It could be because they're stressed. But unless you're seeing that behavior repeated across different contexts, it's not necessarily what you jump to as a conclusion. As a human, we want to sort of pigeonhole things and be like, well, that happens because of this, but actually it depends.
Absolutely. And another thing Sarah would say all the time is question everything.
Yes, apart from the dog.
Yes, the dog's always right. The dog is always right. They're the expert. But it's true. Like, if you're not still asking questions, then you're not learning. If you want to be, I mean, how can we ever know for sure what's going on with a dog? We can't. As much as we can't know for sure what's going on with another person. So, to help them or support them the best we can, we have to keep questioning. Like you say, why is a dog doing this? Well, it depends.
Yeah.
It really depends. And it, it's over different contexts, and it really depends. I think, like you were saying too, with the guardian, it's a great way for dogs to form a bond or strengthen a bond with a guardian as well. We have the counting game. We do the counting game, which is literally, it's an adaptation of Chirag Patel's.
Yes.
But it's basically just going to the station, sprinkling a few treats and saying 1. And I have seen recall become immediate with dogs who know the one. Like literally, if you're on the beach around here and you hear someone yell out one, you know that I've taught them because I teach that. I've had some people go, I refuse to call out one when I'm walking around in the park. I said, well, pick another word, but it doesn't matter what word it is. It's just that you say that word. And it's great for the bond between the guardian and the dog, and it works really well for rescue dogs as well because it's very tricky. There's a lot you can do, a lot of interaction with the dog within Freework, but it's all still about the dog's choice. The dogs, and we also go into it with NATO, no attachment to outcome.
Yes. Love that.
Which is a blessing. That is such a blessing because I try to explain to people, I just can't do it very well though. But you, as a trainer before I met Sarah, before I adopted the ACE ethos, the way of doing what Freework and everything, you go in with expectations of what you were going to do that day, and the guardian had expectations of what you were going to do as well. Go fix the dog. So when I walk in now, I don't have any expectations. It's like the dog will do what the dog needs to do, and I'm there to learn from the dog. And it's almost like I'm the interpreter for the human, because it's like, okay, your dog, by free will, by agency, by having ability to consent to things, is telling us a lot. And let me tell you what that is, what your dog is saying. It's an amazing experience not to have the pressure of having to perform something or do something or achieve something. It's wonderful.
And that's what dogs have every single waking moment of their lives, and that they're told when they're allowed to eat, where they're allowed to eat, when they're allowed to sleep, where they're allowed to sleep, even when they can scratch their own backsides, kind of thing. Every single thing throughout their day. And another thing that I find really special about ACE Freework is that from a human point of view, we go so quickly in our day-to-day lives. There's so much to do all the time. We always have to be somewhere or just something else on the to-do list. But what ACE gives us is that opportunity or permission to just be with our dogs and to just be present with them. And just by slowing down ourselves and breathing, which is something that I was picked up for multiple times at Tilly Farm for not doing, because I tend to hold my breath when I'm concentrating. But just to slow down and be present with our dogs, we learn so much more from them when we're not with our own agenda. It's just
absolutely. And the dog picks up on us as well. And part of Sarah's modules, part of the ACE modules, is working on our own posture, which can only be great for us. Honestly, can only be great for us. So, we get taught about, how to hold ourselves, our posture, the way we're moving. There's a wonderful thing that Sarah taught, and it's light the way. So I try and teach people, imagine you've got two headlights on each shoulder, but at the same time wanting to keep your pelvis so that if you had a cup of water in there, it wouldn't spill. So you're going to be walking. It takes a bit of time and practice to get it right, but the reaction the dog has to that is incredible. So you will get that the dog will focus on you when you do that. And for people who want to do, I'm not into the whole loose leash walking so much, I prefer dogs to have a lot of freedom, but if that's what you're doing, you'll have a lot more success. Not again having any outcome, but I've seen dogs just go, whoa, okay, and you've got that dog's attention, and it really helps them to calm down if that dog's not being able to calm. When you practice the headlights and having your pelvis in a neutral position, how it affects the dog, the knock-on effect to the dog is amazing.
Incredible. So if if someone listening has never heard of free work or never dabbled in free work, what top tips would you give to someone starting out?
I think there's so much about Sarah online. I think you could probably go just Google Sarah Fisher. I would go to the ACE website, and it's not just for trainers, the courses, it's for guardians as well.
Yes.
If you want, and I'd highly recommend that. I really would highly recommend the courses. They're still amazing. I think they're still using a lot of Sarah's Sarah's videos and everything in the modules, so that's great. So it's just completely unique what she teaches. She just had the most incredible mind. She was just such a gift. So I would be going on her website. You can, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, but if you're in Australia, you can contact me. I'm doing workshops, and I do a trainer's toolkit for any trainers in Australia, or anywhere if you want, really, can come and jump into there. But I would first of all recommend doing the ACE modules. That it's absolutely worth doing. It'll change. Well, knowing Sarah, finding Sarah and meeting Sarah and ACE, knowing about ACE has changed my life.
I don't know anyone who met Sarah or was exposed to her teachings who hasn't said that, because it literally changed my life. Going to Tilly Farm that first time sent me down such a journey, and honestly I can't even imagine not having been down that journey now, but it just was so transformative and pivotal in my life. And everyone that I speak to, anyone who's even heard her speak, or everyone will say, if you've had contact or been exposed to any of Sarah's teachings, that it changed your life. I thought actually it really does. The outpouring of love for Sarah online when she passed away was really quite overwhelming. And I did see it really was. I did see someone post, I can't remember who it was now. It might have been Andy Hale, but it was something along the lines of there's two, I'm completely paraphrasing, this isn't exactly what it said, but it was along the lines of there's 2 times in your life before you hear Sarah speak and after you hear Sarah speak. And I was like, that's just spot on, really is.
It absolutely is. That's how I look at my life, before Sarah and after Sarah, or since I met Sarah. Definitely it changed my life professionally. Yes, definitely, but also personally, because she makes you want to be that person who everyone likes, or not just likes. What am I trying to say? It's like, you want to be that person who makes another person smile. You want to be that person. Yeah, you do. You just want to be a great person when you've met Sarah, and I certainly want to keep her legacy going. That's 100%. Kind of my passion, and it's my passion. It's my goal in life, is to keep ACE Freework going. And not just going in Australia. I'm getting it going. I'm introducing it. And there's some amazing people all over the world, especially in the UK, who are doing such a lovely job of promoting ACE Freework and teaching it. And that's so lovely to know. I think Sarah knew that, when she left, that there'd be people to continue on, to carry on.
I hope so. And it is so important that we really do keep flying the flag, if you like, and keep the word out there and keep learning from the dogs. And I know that the team that she had built at Tilly Farm and the people across the globe like yourself, she had the best people. Like, she could see something. She never made you feel like an idea was daft. It was more like curiosity. Well, let's explore this and let's look at this. And
absolutely, I think curiosity was huge. Like, she really was like, you have to question, you have to ask. And it was curious. It was like, question movement. She used to say, movement is life.
Yeah,
There's no life without movement. And, I love the way she said that doesn't have to be movement as we kind of traditionally think of it, as actually moving around. The whole body's moving. There has to be movement. And, she just was the most incredible gift, I think. And we really, you couldn't let ACE Freework go away. It's
never.
Such an amazing concept, such an amazing gift that I just want everyone to have it. I just want all dogs to have it, know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I concentrate on trainers, because I think that's my best avenue to reach more dogs.
Absolutely. Oh, well, we are running out of time, although I feel like we could talk all day. And before we even got on the podcast, we probably spent ages talking before we remembered to hit record.
It's that Jo name. We can talk.
If people want to get in touch with you, if people want to find out more about the work that you're doing, how is it best for people to reach out, Jo?
Have a look on my website. So that's Paw Order. Will you put that up, Jo, on it, or will I just? Yeah,
I will do. It's Paw Order Noosa, which is nwoosa.com.au, isn't it? But I'll get the link.
So that's my business name. Yeah, Paw Order Noosa. And I think the best way to contact me is email. I check my emails all the time, and I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I'd love to hear. Look, honestly, I'd love to hear from people who just want to know what it is. Could I explain it further, or and I'm happy to talk to people anywhere. Time zones are a bit tricky sometimes, as we know, but I'm really happy to spread the word. Anyone who wants to contact me, for sure.
Fantastic. And your email is jo@pawordernoosa.com.au if people want to reach out. It's on the website, and there's a contact form on there as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jo. Really appreciate you giving up your time to speak to me this morning or afternoon for you.
No, it was my pleasure, Jo. First of all, to have a chat with you. That's great. We've met, but only very briefly, so it's lovely to talk to you. And I'm always happy to talk on and on and on about ACE and Freework.
And there's always something more to learn, isn't there? So it's just it's just incredible. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone listening, and we'll speak to you soon. Jo, take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Dog Expert Podcast, the podcast dogs would want you to listen to. If you've enjoyed this episode, do come and let us know in our free Facebook group for dog lovers everywhere, Ethical Dog Training with Canine Principles. That way we can make more content like this that you'll love. We would love for you to leave a review on here and hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode.